It's Utah's rock station for 25 years, K-Bear 101. It is the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show. Starting us off, that was Perfect Disorder with Sticky Situation. And what's going on is I've got a whole bunch of people in the studio right now. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
See, I told you, that's a lot of people. I have got Perfect Disorder, the band, and the band In Ship Down with me. They are the two bands that won your affection to open up the MDA Ride in Wendover, which is featuring Cinderella and Slaughter. They're going to be opening up the show. So I brought them in here in studio to talk about that. How about everybody go around, introduce yourselves to Utah if you, since they probably, honest to God, I knew a little bit about Perfect Disorder, but I don't know anything about In Ship Down. So this is your opportunity to tell Utah about yourselves.
My name's Dave Penrod. I'm the lead singer, bass player for Perfect Disorder.
Nice.
I'm Jim Redmond. I play drums and backing vocals for Perfect Disorder.
Greg Gillis, rhythm guitar for Perfect Disorder.
Leb, that's just my name. I play rhythm guitar for In Ship Down.
Right on.
I'm Shane. I play lead guitar in Ship Down.
I am Sean Perry, bassist for In Ship Down.
I am Tony Peterson. I try and sing.
I'm Ashton Godfrey. I play drums for In Ship Down.
Right on, man. And it's going to be a fantastic show out in Wendover. And it also benefits a fantastic deal, the MDA, Muscular Dystrophy Association. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We, like I said, opened the show with Perfect Disorder. We're going to get to In Ship Down in just a minute here. But starting with the Perfect Disorder, how do you guys write your music? You know, I'm obviously a fan, and you have many fans out there. Both bands, in fact, had over 200,000 text votes alone when the other bands in contention didn't even have, I think they all had around 45,000. I mean.
We normally write it with a pencil, but sometimes a pen.
Okay.
But no, as a collective, as a band, I think, we came together, had a few ideas, and it's normally how it goes, writing about, relationships, drinking,
Right on.
rock and roll.
Steal a lot of it from our peers.
Yeah. We like to steal a lot of hooks and, riffs. So.
Plagiarize lyrics.
Everything's stolen nowadays. Everything's been done.
Yeah, I think everything's been played a million times. So.
But it also has to feel right, so your first few takes, first few ideas get thrown in the trash as you whittle it down and find out what really feels right.
Yeah, though that's cool, man. I always wondered. It's always interesting to me how bands, write their stuff, and whether it's just like a Dave Mustaine of the group. That's the image that always goes to mind, because that's like a dictatorship in that band.
One of my heroes.
Yeah, it's mine too. I got to interview Dave Mustaine, and I was like shaking like crazy behind the mic.
Was he wearing his blue jacket with a furry collar?
No, it was over the phone. So he could have been.
Probably was wearing it then.
Yeah, he could have been.
Good
Yeah.
bet.
But speaking of how you write music, In Ship Down, how do you guys go about it?
We write ours in the desert.
Yeah, under a full moon in the heat of dusk.
Lizards.
Basically, I think it's safe to say we have kind of a system where we try and find a good rhythm for it, add a good lead, and then the vocals on top of that, and then if it doesn't make the cut, Ashton just says no way and throws a tantrum until it goes his way.
We write a bunch of songs and only a few make it.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's got to go through me.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny because it all starts out like just one jam session, and then it sounds good for like the jam, and then it's like, okay, break it down. Let's get it put together, and then finally it's like, I don't know, it's like putting a bike together.
That's
find
cool.
the right pieces and put them in the
I
right
never
spot.
learned to ride a bike, so that's terrible.
You should learn how to ride a bike.
Horrible analogy. It's true what they say, at least in my case, when it comes to radio disc jockeys of being frustrated musicians. I own 2 guitars. I can't play anything. I think I learned Margaritaville. I think that was the extent that I got to. But, all right, we're coming back with more from the guys talking about the NBA Ride June 5th next week in Wendover, Nevada, opening up for Cinderella and Slaughter. Right now it's In Ship Down, and this song is called Four Seasons. Enjoy, rather. It's a Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show, right here on K-Bear 101. It's Utah's rock station, K-Bear 101, the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show. My name's Metalhead Murphy. Helmet is out, but in his place, a whole bunch of people, 2 different bands, In Ship Down and Perfect Disorder, join me in studio. They will be opening up for the Wendover MDA Ride going on next week, June 5th, featuring Cinderella and Slaughter, opening up for those, and that's pretty fantastic. What I heard off the air, what national acts have you guys opened up for before?
Perfect Disorder over the last few years has done Bret Michaels 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Done Vince Neil, Winger. Frank Cannon,
F5.
yeah, Dave Ellison from F5.
Oh yeah, I think I was at that show.
Blue Oyster Cult, The Tubes,
Tesla.
yeah,
Wow. What about in Ship
Probably should have
Down?
started with us. We've done Ann Arbor, Stray Light Run, Trust Company, which I thought was awesome for them to be with us, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles band. If you don't remember that from 1983.
Right on. Well,
And
this will be
speaking
cool.
Of, Slaughter and Cinderella, this will be our third time with Slaughter.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
so
Right on. That's
we love
cool.
those guys. Mark Slaughter did the intro to a video we have called Veil of Tears.
Oh, wow. Well, that's cool, man. Well, after the break, we're going to be talking about, how long you all have been together as a collective band, talk about your albums, talk about other gigs coming up. But right now, we do have to take a quick break. It's the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show, right here on K-Bear 101. It's Utah's rock station, K-Bear 101, the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show. That was In Ship Down and Break Me Out. One of the two bands I have here in studio, the other being Perfect Disorder. They will both be opening up for the MDA Ride going on next weekend, June 5th, out in Wendover, Nevada, both bands opening up for Cinderella and Slaughter. And I don't have the information. Is that show's going to be outside? Is that what we figured out?
Yeah, outside of Montego Bay, I think.
Yeah,
Nobody knows. It's going to be in Wendover. You just follow the electric guitars.
All you have to do is listen for the noise of music.
Yeah,
You'll-
there you
you'll
go.
find the
Yeah, it's
rockers.
Wendover. Won't be hard to find.
Yeah, no kidding. There's nothing out there. I wanted to talk to both bands here and ask, how long you've been a group. Like I said, I know a little bit about Perfect Disorder, but I don't know much about In Ship Down. So why don't you guys start that off?
As far as In Ship Down goes, we had a couple things we did before, basically what you're hearing now under the same name. But really, when we got Ashton in and replaced some of the members that we'd had before, we kind of got our groove on, and we've been together maybe about a year and a half at the most.
Nice.
Probably a little bit less than that.
Right on. Oh, I mean, you have a huge following, obviously. I mean, over 200,000 texts came in to have you guys open up for this awesome MDA ride. What about Perfect Disorder? I mean, you guys have been around a little while because I have heard of you. I'm sorry I hadn't heard of you guys, but,
Nice.
well, you can't say you listened to the sound check either. I mean, you just asked who Helmet was a minute ago, so.
I pronounce his name Helmut. Okay? If you don't speak with a German accent, I can't help you.
Jimmy and I have been around since the early 80s. We used to do a lot of stuff with K-Bear back in the day. The band Perfect Disorder, probably about 14, 15 years. Jimmy and I have been together, most of that. Been through a lot of guitar players until a couple of years ago when I think we found two of the best guitar players we've played with.
Dedicated.
Yeah, in all the years. So, we've done a lot of cool things, a lot of shows, and we just kind of been doing our thing slow but sure. We had a cover band for a long time that just mainly did covers with a different singer.
Right on.
And
Playing the bar scene and trying to break out of the bars and get into something a little more serious. And
Well, yeah, you guys had a gigantic following, too. Again, you as well had over 200,000 text votes for the opportunity to open up for Cinderella and Slaughter again, June 5th for the MDA ride.
and it was all females.
Wow, that's fantastic. Let's see, we only have a few more minutes here. Speaking of other gigs going on, obviously we wanted to hit the MDA ride June 5th pretty hard because that's what this was all about. But other gigs coming up, what do you guys have going on?
Well, In Ship Down, we got a few next week. We got one on Wednesday, June 1st, at Liquid Joe's. I think we go on at 8:30. And then we got a big one on Friday, the 3rd, with Biffy Clyro, so that should be a pretty good show.
That would be awesome.
So the Avalon.
At the Avalon Theater, yep.
Nice, right on. And that's all ages,
That's
correct?
all ages, $10. It's going to be a good show.
Right on, killer. What about you guys?
We're at Club 90 tonight with Buddy Shadow. And we've got another show on June 10th and 11th down in Vernal at Little Bees. And I'd like to thank our promoter, Steve Nuttall, and Metalhead and Helmet for doing what they do and letting us,
Well, no problem, man. I
have
mean,
a chance to.
yeah, we obviously you got to celebrate local music, and it's so surprising to me and Helmet because the way it kind of works around here is that bands will send us their stuff. I listen to it, and then if I deem it worthy, airplay worthy, then I'll give it to Helmet, and he makes the final decision. But it's so funny to me how bands don't care about radio, and then wonder, and why, why they can't get any play or or booked at clubs or anything. And I've said countless times on the show, bands, send me your stuff, and it's surprising to me that people don't reach out more and and want to get on the radio. But there's also been a lot of bands that absolutely suck. And I've had to tell him, I can't remember. I go by a nickname, but I got emailed by this guy who went by a nickname. I can't remember, which already just pissed me off. And, and they sucked too, So I was just like, man, no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to put this on the air. And and he wrote me back, and you could tell how pissed off he was, in the email. What? We're local. We rock. So I've made a few enemies out there because I won't air crappy music, you know what I mean? And you guys, both of you, obviously are not crappy whatsoever because...
Well, I just want to go on the air as saying that was my pseudo band, Awesome Sauce, and I'm still mad.
Sorry, man. Again, June 5th, Perfect Disorder, pardon me, and In Ship Down opening up for Cinderella and Slaughter. June 5th, it's the Wendover MDA Ride. We'll try to squeeze in a couple more songs, maybe talk with the guys if we have time. It's a Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show right here on KBR 101. That was In Ship Down and Flashburn, one of the two bands in contention, that won the chance to open up for Cinderella. What's happening here? Stupid Facebook. The other being Perfect Disorder, opening up for Cinderella and Slaughter, June 5th in Wendover for the MDA Ride. And that pretty much does it, guys. Thanks for coming in, stopping by the program. Hopefully you have a fantastic show next week. Anything you guys want to plug before we go?
We'd like to just say thanks to Toby at SIS Records. He's kind of a promoter, and he's doing a great job for us. Also, thanks to Chris and Joe. You know who you are, and we love you. And we'd like to thank everybody out there that took the time to vote for a terrible band.
We had a lot of
us.
people up in the Ogden area just voting like crazy. So.
Like I said, they're
we'd also like to thank Perfect Disorder for coming out and hanging out with us. They're cool guys. So,
and us too.
We're excited to play with them.
In Ship Down, some nice guys, and we look forward to hanging out with them in Wendover. I'd like to thank all the clubs that support live music and our families and our new album, Sign of the Times, and, of course, K-Bear.
Right on. Right on. Well, guys, I have a fantastic show out there. Again, it benefits the MDA, which is just a fantastic organization. And, that does it for us. Thank you for listening to the Salt Lake Soundcheck, your local music show. It is KBR 101.
I'm excited for your phone to blow up about 30 seconds.
It's Metalhead Murphy on KBR 101.